Hey guys, it's Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Radiant Tale. It's been like 2. I didn't get to play yesterday, so I don't remember where we were. It's better than when I don't record for like 3 days over a weekend, but like I'm like shit, I don't remember. What happened? Anyway, we're waking up apparently from something. What happened? I don't remember. Anyway, I awoke and sat up in bed. I woke up earlier than usual. Oh, okay. So it was just we were asleep. Okay, I was like, did something happen? Did we get hit in the head or something? I buried my face in my pillow, hoping it'd ferry me back to dreamland, but all my drowsiness had vanished. Have we read a line very similar to this before? In this like route or in another one? Because I just got a weird, I'm like, deja vu, dude. Weird. Feeling restless, I tossed and turned several times over. You're up early today, huh? I feel like we've had this exact conversation. Am I tripping? A faint, sleepy voice came from the hammock beside me. Oops, sorry, Rady. I didn't mean to wake you. I feel like we had this exact conversation in Pashalia's route, like, at one point. Very similar. Like, same circumstance, and it's just really freaking tripping me out. I'm like, I don't know what's happening right now. It's very bizarre. Rady got up from his hammock and rubbed his face with his paws. Nah, it's all good. Waking up early ain't so bad. Anyway, is something bugging you? I feel like my throat's hoarse and I can't, like, do his voice right. What? Aren't you awake at the crack of dawn because you barely slept last night? His face is like, eh? You must be thinking about something. Oh! Rady jumped down from his hammock and sat next to me. Just as Rady said, I'd barely slept at all. I told him how I was tormented by the idea that I was the only one not pulling my weight. Meanwhile, the others were working their hardest to save Kultura. I couldn't fall asleep with all that on my mind. I gotta admit, there's not much you can do in this state of emergency. But there is something only you can do, you know. Really? No way. Sometimes you can't see yourself clearly till you look through someone else's eyes. Well, good luck figuring it out. What a jackass! He's like supporting Zephora because he's in love with you. Anyway, good luck figuring that one out without me telling you. Jerk. He patted my back to cheer me up. Okay, thanks, Rady. I still had no idea what it was that only I could do. Even so, Rady's encouragement lifted a weight off my shoulders. I know it's a little early, but let's get up. I want some more milk. What about you, Rady? Oh, sounds tasty. I put some brandy in mine. All right, but only a little, okay? We're going to indulge this lush? All right. I stretched my back and hopped off my bed, then went to leave the tent. Before I could, though, Rady grabbed my sleeve. Oh, wait, Spacey. I hear people talking outside. Can you hear them? It's Calivis and guy I don't recognize. We have a guest this early in the morning? Well, the sun hasn't even risen, though. Oh, that's weird. I'll go take a look. I changed clothes in a hurry and headed to the plaza where the voices were coming from. Rady and I hid behind a tent to observe. There we saw Calivis and an older man. It's one of the people who protested here the other day. What business does that guy have with Calivis? And where's Ginia? Ginia had to supervise the security forces last night, so he's not in Kultura right now. He said he'd be back by noon, though. And that guy chose to call Calivis out now. Hella suspicious. They're moving somewhere. Let's follow them. Yeah, we gotta protect the prince, man. Why would Calivis just go with them? You know what I mean? Although we missed our timing, we followed the pair at a safe distance. Rady, perhaps sensing danger, quietly shifted into his human form. After walking for some time, Calivis and the man stopped. Something smells really sweet. There's Balto. Just when I was thinking that, someone else approached them. Balto? Oh, hell no. Damn it. What should we do now? Grab the fucking prince and run!
Ew!
We were hiding closer this time so we could make out what they were saying. Rady, jump out, punch Balto in the face, and let's drag him back to the tent. Shocked by Balto's appearance, the prince took a few shaky steps back. This is where we jump out and attack them. I mean, I know me and the prince are like half a man together, if that, but like we got the half and then we could do something than stand here and watch him get kidnapped. You know? Or brainwashed or some shit. Shocked by Balto's appearance, the prince took a few shaky steps back. We read that. Long time no see, Your Highness. I believe the last time was during my inauguration. No. Sentinel Balto at your service. Balto oozed into a respectful bow. Oozed into one.
I came here because this man told me there's something important I need to know to save Kultura's citizens. He said I'm the only one who can hear this. Just what in the world is...
Oh my, so you're willing to listen even when we call you out of the blue? I deeply appreciate your generosity, Your Highness. Despite his grin, Balto's eyes were ice cold. How's Erase's bullet production going?
It's going well. What about it?
My word, what an honest prince you are. I can see it's not going well. It's written all over your face. Have you ever thought about why you cannot craft the bullets? Looks like you've already realized it. Mental fortitude plays a big part in crafting those bullets. Your growth is hampered due to your frozen heart. With your unripe, unstable mind, you cannot hope to craft them. Don't taunt the poor kid.
But I have to make the bullets for the...
Isn't the fact that you're still stuck in your child body enough evidence? You refuse to grow. Despite that, the people around you are forcing you into it. How cruel is that? Like, I know what you're trying to do here, but like... Well, I mean, the Maracas perfume stuff is strong in this area, so that might convince the prince to believe you. But like, normally, he's not that stupid. But he might be brainwashed, so... Even Zephora said something similar, did he not? He told you not to force yourself because he expects nothing from you. That's not true.
That can't be true.
Can you deny it? Every day they make you do needless work and shove you in a corner when you've burdened them enough. Why are we allowing this conversation to happen? I mean, I know it's for plot reasons, but like, this is where we should jump out. How dare you even say that shit to him? Grab the kid and run. Like, seriously? Why are we letting him taunt the prince and put these crazy ideas in his head? So now he's gonna doubt everyone, and including himself. You know what I mean? Come on. They're just using you, Your Highness. If you come with me, you can do so many things to bring peace to Kultura. Clovis's eyes wavered in his hesitation. I sprang out from my hiding place without a second thought. Good, finally! Don't let that snake fool you, Clovis!
Easy?
His eyes opened wide in surprise. Clovis has been growing day by day. He can and will make those bullets. Balto's trying to keep you away from a race because you're so close. He still lacked the confidence. Oh, but he's backing away. Nevertheless, Clovis took a step away from Balto, meaning I'd convinced him enough. How foolish, interrupting our little man-to-man chat. What's your problem, I wonder? How rude of you, our man-to-man chat, woman! Huh! What's your problem, I wonder? I'm a woman, obviously, that's my problem. Hello? I'm just caught with hysterics because I have a womb. You know he thinks in antiquated terms like that. That's why that man never got married. Aside from some of you weirdos, nobody would marry this bastard. He's a great evil character, but like, they did really good draw on him because he is pretty. But like, I'm gonna need you to tone down the douchebag a little, and then it might be okay. I mean, we like trash sometimes, but a little too much. You're like, you're on the, but like, you just, I want you to be somehow likable, but they just wrote him so unlikable, you know? For a reason, obviously. They made him like, sort of 1.5 dimensional. But he's supposed to be the villain, so he doesn't need to be like deep and complex where you're like, oh man, like I almost might side with him, you know? But they made him look pretty. So, like, they gave him that, I guess. But, you know, just in a more in-depth, like, book or movie or something, like, there would be something redeeming where you're like, I know he's trash, but, like, this little sob story he's got going on right here, that just pulls at my heartstrings, and I kind of like this trash. You know what I mean? They didn't do it for him. And I'm not knocking on the writers for that. It's like they wrote him the way they needed to. Like, I'm just going to write him like this. Everybody else that's important in the story, I mean, not important, but you know what I mean? Like, all the main kind of characters and you whatever have more depth. Like, even Aleste doesn't have too much depth. The most depth he goes into is his prince obsession. You know? So, like, but that's just because you don't get to know him. Like, you're not going to get to know Balto more than the surface level, so I'm not knocking it. I'm like, it's absolutely valid. You don't have time to get into the deep depths of everybody. So there might be more to him than meets the eye, but right now what meets the eye is, God, you're trash and you're not even the kind that I want to romance. I'm going to need to dig deeper so we can find that. Because, like, all the side characters, you know, but right now you're just a big fat jerk. Anyway. Come again? His Highness is crafting the bullets right. How about you? What are you trying to achieve here? Aside from coming up with some boring shows, is there anything else you can do to help? Now he's making me feel sorry about myself, and this is where Rady jumps in, right? His words stole my breath away. Balto had pinpointed exactly what I was so worried about. I mean, that makes him a fucking evil manipulative genius, though, that he can just, like, look at you and read you like that. Don't take what that psycho said to heart, Spacey. But so, shall we end our conversation here? Balto's lips twisted in a sneer. He's like, the two most important people to Zephora right now. The woman he loves, and the kid that's making the bullets that are going to take me out. I got them pegged down a bunch. I'm alright for now. Alright, you know what? I'll give him that. That's, you know, I got to appreciate your evil right now. Genius. You still suck, but, like, smiling about it, man, so... I know I said you were trash without much depth, but, like, we got a little bit where I'm like, you know what? Maybe I don't mind you're kind of trash. I'm not going to trade Zephora for you, but I'm just saying, like, a little wink, maybe. That's fine. Balto's lips twisted in a sneer. Yeah. Watch out, guys! Something's coming! Rady hugged both me and Clovis tightly to protect us. Hey, you lot are in the way of my plan. Be gone! Oh no, he kidnapped us. Ah! I'm sorry. Ah! Oh my god! We're multiple people together. I can't. Ah! Like a Valley Girl, so. Chapter 8? Fuck. Chapter 8. Hey, Spacey, are you alright? I'm assuming it's Rady. Yeah. The moment I opened my eyes, I found myself face to face with Rady. He looked worried. Are you hurt? Can you get up? I think I'm okay. Where are we? Do you remember being hit by Balto's wind magic in Kultura? He kicked us out of the city with that, and we got swept away to some faraway forest. Oh, okay. Wait! Where's Clovis? You know, it's kind of funny because, like, as much as we don't really see Rady in this human form very often, and sometimes it's more like, Rady's in its human form, and then I get distracted by the story, but, like, I'm sure I've really noticed, but it's never really, like, until right now, slap me in the face, but his little bolero tie's, like, fucking crooked. like, he's always slightly disheveled. I mean, technically you have a jacket with one arm on. Is your arm, okay, you're just wearing it slung over one shoulder. But you definitely look like a man that's come home after he had too many drinks with the boys the night before. You know what I mean? The vest unbuttoned, your little tie, your shirt unbuttoned, your little bolero tie crooked, and your old jacket only over one shoulder. Listen, we're just appreciating Rady right now, okay? Like, you know, it does fit his character, because he drinks a lot. So, like, he's kind of dressing the part. I whirled around in a panic, then spotted the prince sitting against a tree.
I'm fine too.
Are you, though? You look really pale.
I just used too much mana. I'll be fine once I get some rest.
Mana?
We got blown away by Bolto's wind magic, remember? Clevis immediately used his own magic to protect us.
That explains why none of us are hurt. Thank you, Calivis.
No, it's my fault. We wouldn't be in this situation if I hadn't been so foolish and followed a stranger.
Did he at least offer you candy, and did you at least get it? Because then, I'll give you a pass.
There's a whole lot of things I want to say, but let's save it for later. It's too dangerous to stay here. I will run into fiends or wild beasts. Let's head to Orion's first.
Why Orions?
I don't remember this road. It should be just a short walk away. Clevis, I'll carry you since you still can't walk.
Okay, thanks, Rady.
Oh my god, I need a CG. I know it's not. It's a Zephora route, so we can't have a CG, but I need a CG of us walking with, like, Rady and then Calivis on his fucking back, like, giving him a piggyback ride. Fucking need this. Let's get a move on. What are we gonna do once we get to Orion's? Isn't a messenger pigeon? Are they really missing?
I scouted the vicinity, but they're nowhere to be found. I can't believe they went missing when I wasn't around. Is this a coincidence, or...
They may have gotten lost in the underground labyrinth or ventured outside the city. There are many possibilities.
They're not the type to leave without telling us, though. Did they get into some kind of trouble?
Saying they might have been abducted by Balto. I'll go search. Zephora looks sad right now and confused and, like, stressed out. Like the little, just little crease in his eyebrows right there. Like, he's like, I'm angry, but I'm also scared. And it's just adorable.
Wait, I get that you're panicking, but let's calm down first. Get off me. It could be a trap. You're the brains here. What are we gonna do if something happens to you, too?
He is right. It would be better for Vilio and I to go because we can hold our own in combat.
I'm with the brawny fellows. You still have too much to do, Zephora. I know you're worried, but they have Rady with them, and they should be fine. Should be. They should be fine.
Question mark. It's so much funnier to read it that way.
What if something happens to them? It'll be too late for us to do a damn thing. If we screw up like what happened to my parents... Hey guys! How you doing, huh? What are you doing here? Whoa, buddy, loose the scary mean mug. I have a message from Spacey and... Where are they? Did you kidnap them?
Love the fact that Zephora just grabbed Leon. Look at him, he's so mad that we're gone. It's not even that, like, he's not worried about the prince. He's worried about me. Oh, and the prince, sure. But, like, me mostly. And I like, guys, I love it. Oh, he really is our bastard bespectacled boyfriend, and I love it so much. He may not always wear glasses. We got it once, but that's enough. That lives rent-free in my heart now.
Wait, I can't breathe. Don't choke me! Calm down, Zephora. Even as a joke, Leon isn't stupid enough to hurt them. Yeah, I'm silly and all, but I'm not an idiot, okay? Make it quick. Ugh.
Jeez, be a little gentler, would ya?
So here's what went down.
Like, actually, Zephora is, like, so much shorter than Leon, too. He really does have short guy energy. It's not that he's that much shorter, it's only a couple of inches, but it's still, like, he just has that energy, and I love it. I love that little quirk of his.
Hello there! Come on in and enjoy today's fresh batch of Orion seafood, marinated to perfection.
Leon, you're an Orion's! What a relief!
Oh, did you miss me so much that a reunion had you crying tears of joy? Is the biggest love tsunami of the century crashing down?
I love him so much. Like, Again, he's not normally him and Vilio, not normally the type that I'm into, but both of them are just so goddamn charming that, like, you know what? I'm giving it a pass. Like, A+. God, I love this game. Not on your life. See, this is why in a fan disc we need to romance him, just because we're constantly like, yeah, ew, no. Anyway. And then we fall in love with him. Joke's on us. You're as cold as ever.
Sorry, but can you hear us out and take it seriously? And there's something we want to ask you.
If he can teleport from each place, why can't we with him? Like, he's obviously got a magic door or some shit, right? So, like, why can't he bring us there? Hey, can you hear us? Vilio waved to us through the chalice. Thank goodness! Yes, we can hear you! Per Rady's suggestion, we'd visited Cheers when we arrived in Oriens. As for the reason, you know, I'm so dumb because I'm like, what the fuck are they gonna do? I obviously said that. Carrier pigeon, how are they gonna get right? I wasn't. Leon is fucking everywhere.
This is an emergency. We need to tell him as soon as possible. Sending a letter through the Wooloo post would take too much time.
We tried finding an inn for the night before Rady came up with another idea. Sure, but is there any other way? Oh, right, they have the Wooloo post. We should forget about those two.
Let's ask Leon for help.
Leon? The guy who runs Cheers?
Yeah, Leon can go to each branch of his pub as he pleases. We should ask him.
Okay, so it must just be him, his kind of magic or something. I feel like I've heard this before. If I remember correctly, he can freely travel back and forth between Cheers all around the country using the Fae network. Oh, we're not a Fae. That makes sense. Okay. It's not like a magic portal. It's the Fae network. Okay. Honestly, we had no idea whether he was in the Oriens branch. We'd gotten really lucky.
So, yeah, we're pretty much begging you. Can you hurry over to Kultura?
I see. I haven't been to the Kultura branch recently, so I had no idea. Guess things are looking rough over there, huh? I know this is urgent, but you still owe me one, okay? Go on a date with me later, Spacey. Leon shot me a wink and disappeared into the back of the pub. After that, he went to Kultura and relayed our message to the other circus members. They gave him one of our chalices, which he brought back to Oriens. Now we could communicate directly with the others. And, like, hi, we could just be like, could you get erased and come back here and... Vilio, get over here and pick us up. I'm so glad you guys are all right. Now explain in detail exactly what happened to you. Okay, so... Alright, so I was, like, sleeping, and I was having, like, this dream. I'm just kidding. I told him that Calyvis had encountered Balto after being summoned by one of Kultura's citizens. Then he explained how Balto tossed us out of the city with his wind magic. Well, he was trying to convince Calyvis that he was trying to tell Calyvis that he's useless. He was being a raging dick. So I jumped down and was like, screw you, buddy. He's awesome. And then he made me feel like shit about myself, and then he banished us.
I know he was being suspicious, but I wanted to be useful to you. I'm sorry for going out there on my own.
Actually, you should be, kid. Because this wouldn't have happened if you just stayed put.
Oh, we should be sorry, too. We burdened you with all this without considering your feelings.
Agreed. It did make us anxious, but we can confirm now with our own eyes that you are all right, so there is no need to be despondent. Balto is the one at fault here, not you.
Besides, doesn't everyone panic when they're carrying a real big burden around? I can totally relate to that.
You're not mad at me? You'll forgive me?
Of course we're mad. That said, this isn't about whether or not we forgive you. Acting on your own without telling anyone is bad, yes. But you were just trying to find something you could do because you thought you weren't good enough. You did nothing wrong.
I know. I want to cry too. Sephora's being nice. Not as much as when I see him in glasses, and that just makes me actually tear up. Put those glasses back on. I kind of look just seriously, like his face right now with those glasses on. You can imagine. I can see it in my head. Can you? God, I'm here for it. Tears flowed from Calyvis's eyes, despite his attempts to stay strong, dripping onto the surface of the chalice.
By the way, I never expected Balto to show himself. I really thought he'd hole himself up in the labyrinth until it was time for him to carry out his plan. He would have been a dead meat if Ion been the one who noticed Calyvis leaving instead of us. That guy was being real careless.
Besides us, there was only only an unarmed citizen between the two of them, the one who'd lured Calivis out. Balto must have thought he could deal with us alone. After all, he had the Labyrinth necklace in his possession, which could manipulate the Labyrinth and control wind magic. Even so, his actions struck me as odd, given that he was normally very cautious.
Did you notice anything else about Balto?
Let me think. Mention the smell. Looking back on it, there was something that stood out to me. Balto smelled sweet. Don't get me wrong, I stayed far away from him. The scent was just so strong that I could smell it from a distance.
Yeah, that reminds me. I smelled something that packed such a punch, I thought it knocked me off my paws.
Me too. It was really sweet. Also, I sense a strong fiend presence coming from him.
Are you saying that Balto's possessed?
That confirms our findings. The sweet scent must have been Maraka's perfume.
And fiend's presence too, huh? Could you say roughly how strong it was?
It was quite strong. Like a great number of fiends were nearby. I wouldn't be surprised if he already brought the fiends to the underground labyrinth.
Damn, he's fast. I suppose we should strengthen security around the entrance. Yeah, we'd better evacuate anybody who lives nearby.
Good thinking. Common folk have no chance against fiends. If they bump into them and get hurt, it'll be far too late to help.
You're right, so...
That's not the problem here.
Huh?
If a normal human runs into a fiend without an amulet in hand, getting hurt won't be the worst of it. All they can do is run away.
What do you mean?
Can I explain this?
Oh, can I explain this to them, Ginnia?
I thought Ginnia was jumping in because he popped in there anyway.
Well, sure. Looking at her situation now, it'll be more dangerous if they're kept in the dark.
Fiends can possess humans.
Possession? It's news to me.
I think one might be possessing Balto.
And this fact is hidden from everyone to prevent panic. Besides, the average person's very unlikely to encounter a fiend. The only ones who are privy to this are the royal family and its relatives, plus a small handful of the public security forces.
Once someone's possessed, it's impossible to get rid of the fiend. They'll gradually lose their mind and forget they're human. In the final stage, they'll transform into a fiend themselves. The only way to save them is by killing them.
What? Killing them? Really? There really no other way for them to recover once they've been possessed?
Well, we're undergoing research to find a way to help humans who have transformed into fiends.
Fiend transformation. Fiends have a tendency to attack and possess humans. A human possessed by a fiend will slip into madness and turn into a fiend themselves in an event called a fiend transformation. There is no way to save someone once they've been possessed. You know, reading in that voice is really fun when it's dark shit like that, because it's just so wrong.
As of right now, the only way to defeat the fiend is by killing the possessed human.
To prevent such outcomes, we need to bolster our patrols in the city. We need to do that too, obviously. When all's said and done, though, we're handling this a little too late. Our top priority here is to stop Balto, who's the root of all these problems.
Well, true. On to do that.
All eyes naturally fell on Calivis. A race was the only thing that could stop Balto. Everyone knew this, yet we choose not to say so out of consideration for the prince.
Anyway, we want to get back as soon as we can.
We'd prefer that too, but I don't think you can return now. To hell with that, bitch! My boyfriend needs me!
What do you mean?
The Kaltura is covered in a dome-shaped barrier of wind magic, and no one can enter or leave.
But the dome is upstairs, right? We'll burrow under it.
It's like we're surrounded by a wall of wind. If you get too close, the gusts blow you away.
You know, that's actually smart, because he blasted us away, and then he was like, well, if they don't die in the fall when I blast them, like, I gotta put up a barrier, because otherwise they're coming back. Does that mean Calivis can't go back to Kultura?
Yeah, and to make matters worse, it'll be hard to request assistance from the palace.
How strong is that wind magic?
We've tried a slew of things since it showed up, like firing spells at it, but no human can break through it right now. And I can do it in my dragon form, but only if it's just me going through. If I carry someone on my back, they'll fly right off.
I noticed a weak point in the barrier way up in the air, but perhaps we can pierce through it with strong enough magic.
In that case, we should be able to force our way through if Calivus casts a spell from my back, right?
It's possible, certainly. But destroying such powerful magic will sap an enormous amount of mana from him. It'll take some time for him to recover, so he won't be able to craft the bullets.
He usually recovers after a day's rest, right?
And that's only because I stop him before he exceeds his limits. But frankly speaking, I don't know how long it'll take him to recover after breaking through the wind barrier.
Oh.
Maybe you three shouldn't come back then. What? Load the bullets into a race somewhere safe and send the weapon here. Levis doesn't have to return. We can ask Leon to bring a race to us. Kultura has become extremely dangerous, and you can't easily escape from here. Both you and Calivus are safer where you are now.
Well, you might be right, but like I'm gonna say that? Like, I'm gonna be like, you might be right. I mean, yeah, you might be right, but like, fuck that, I need to be with you because I love you. You can't keep me away from you. I will do anything. I will fight through a wind tunnel to be with my clown prince. Right? Right?
The guide says right!
I get that you're concerned for us, but I'm coming back anyway. I made my declaration swiftly and with confidence to nip his fretting in the bud. I can't let you guys do all the work now that I know what's happening over there. Sure, there may be nothing I can do. And yes, I understand it's better for the Crown Prince to stay in a safe place. That doesn't mean I'll leave you all trapped there without even trying to help. Especially you, Sephora. I love you. I'm not gonna leave the man I love trapped in there all by himself. They're all like, wait, what? What do you think she's talking about? I had no idea how we could get back, nor did I have a game plan for what came after. Nevertheless, I wanted to be there. Look at him! He's like, oh, your conviction to come back. Everyone's in danger. Oh, look at his little shocked face. Before his eyes widened in surprise, not a word leaving his lips. Well, I mean, which is good, because I can't shut him up from here, because to shut him up, you have to kiss him. I guess he must be fed up with me for acting all self-righteous. An awkward silence loomed between us, but I had no intention of taking back what I said. No, he stopped his heart a little. I wanted to fight alongside Zephora, even though he was trying to keep us safe.
You got a point. Yeah, it might be dangerous, but that won't be a problem as long as we protect the city. You guys should definitely be here. Besides, Spacey, this guy was so darn distraught when y'all went missing. Won't it be better if you're with us?
Agreed. The Zephora can't shine without you, Spacey. Come back as soon as possible. Zephora can't shine without us, eh? And then he's gonna look at him! He's like, the hell are you telling me secrets?
Huh? The hell are you? He grabbed Leon like a ferocious beast when he heard he had a message from you. He must have been worried sick about you.
I like how they're just spilling the secrets! And he's like, wait, what? Don't tell her I love her! Don't tell her I have a heart! We know you do, you big softy.
Shut up, all of you! Not another word!
Zephora then cleared his throat as if to put his feelings behind him. Oh, I love our little awkward ducks when they get like this. Everyone's like, yeah, he really must like you. What? No, I don't! Shut up!
Aww, it's so cute!
Fine. We come back here. We'll try to find a way.
Got it. Relief washed over me.
Oops, that reminds me. Allie should be in Arthur now. Can you contact him from there? We can't be sure if you'll be safe by yourselves, so it'd be better if you met up with him. Gotcha. We'll message him.
We'll contact you again if there's any progress. Bye.
Dumps the water out quickly. Once they disappeared from the surface of the chalice, I tossed out the water. Phew. My heart sank as if the thread I'd been hanging by during the call had been snipped. I pretended to act normal in front of them all, since they were so worried, but
His Highness is crafting the bullets, right? How about you? What are you trying to achieve here? Aside from coming up with some boring shows, is there anything else you can do to help?
Hey, people like my boring shows. Balto's right. Is there anything I can do even if I return? And then this is where we're going to be separated, and we kind of already know Zephora's in love with us by now, and we're in love with him, but we haven't quite put the pieces together, and we're going to be all down, and Rady's going to be like, "You idiot!" Smacks us with his paw to the face.
So, what should we do now?
Rady cut his words short.
Actually, how about we call it a day? We've been through the ringer.
What? But
I can tell you both ain't back to your usual peppy little selves yet. Plus, we're basically stuck here till we contact Aleste.
my gaze slid over to Calivis. A grim expression still loomed over his face.
I'll message Aleste. You two grab a room and get some sleep.
Thanks, Rady. Come on, Calivis. Picking Rady up on his gentle suggestion, we stayed the night at Cheers. I like how it's like a bed and beer house. It's a bed and bar. The next morning, Leon told us we could use the place however we liked until opening hours. Accepting his offer, the three of us held a meeting inside the pub. We decided to clean, The smell of baking bread permeated the room. Leon must have been getting ready to open in the back.
So, did you sleep well yesterday? Well, sort of.
I simply nodded in response.
Oh, you ain't recovering at all, I see. Well, what should we do now?
Rady crossed his paws, a glum look on his face. I noticed faint dark circles under Calivis's eyes. At that moment, the door banged open. My apologies, but we're still not up. I slipped into Liber hostess mode as I headed toward the door. The man who'd entered gave me a bewildered look. I'm no customer, and since when have you been working at this establishment? You knew the person banging in was Aleste. That's so funny. Aleste?
Whoa, dude, you got here so fast. I just messaged you yesterday. Did you expect me not to rush here as fast as I could when His Highness is staying in some commoner's seedy hovel without an attendant?
Aleste pushed his glasses up on the bridge of his nose. His expression softened when he saw Calivis. I'm glad to find you safe, Your Highness.
Sorry for worrying you.
Please do not be so glum. Indeed, my heart felt fit to explode when I learned you were accompanied only by this ordinary girl in her pink furball. Yet when I heard about what happened from Rady, I felt more happy than worried.
He made you happy?
Yes, I'm pleased to know you thought of your subjects and acted on their behalf. It's proof that you're growing. Judging by the rich emotions in his voice, he wasn't saying that just to cheer Calivis up. Aleste was happy from the bottom of his heart. He is a little weirdo, and that's why I love him.
So you say, but even if you all forgive me, it's still my fault that we're in this situation. I'm a future sovereign. I should work even harder for my people. Help them more. Yet I can't even manage to make a single bullet when it's the only thing between us and success. I can't do anything!
Calivis bit his lip in frustration. Goodness. I am keenly aware how rude this may seem given your state of distress. However, I've always been by your side. The fact that you acted on your feelings of concern had me on cloud 9. Your restlessness to prove... Your restlessness is proof of how strongly you wish to grow. Nothing more, nothing less. Zephora himself said you have what it takes to be a leader.
He did?
That's right. When he and I spoke in Cultura. Livis has shown remarkable growth. He's fully absorbed everything he's learned. I also think he has the qualities of a good leader. A good leader, you say? Leader's always thinking of the people and their happiness. Something you can't learn from books. He'll be a fine king in the near future.
Thinking of the people and their happiness.
Yes, thus he told me he'd wait and see how you progress, even if the bullet production's delayed. He believes you'll persevere and succeed because of how deeply you care for the people. Livis gasped upon hearing of Sephora's unwavering support. I mean, it's unexpected. Everyone's like, wait, Sephora's sweet? Yes, he is.
Well, that's why he never rushed me. Truly believes I can do it. I completely forgot what I learned in Arthur. What's most important is who I'm doing this for and why. My identity, duty, and status are irrelevant here. I'm doing this because I want everyone in Kultura to be safe and happy.
Calivis raised his head, the epiphany setting his spine straight and his heart alight.
I will succeed this time. Feel like I can make the bullets now.
The boy's declaration was quiet but firm. When he looked straight at me, his eyes betrayed no hint of hesitation.
Your Highness, this humble attendant shall follow you anywhere you go.
Hey-oh, what a face. You finally got over it, bud.
I gotta kick my funk to the curb, too. There has to be something I can do.
In that case, we must return to Kultura post-haste and have you craft the bullets.
We need Calivis's magic to break through the wind barrier, though. He won't have the mana to make the bullets after that. Maybe we should ask Leon to bring Erase here, like Zephora said. Although we'd said we'd return to Kultura, we had no other way of entering the city. Calivis averted his gaze.
Oh, what's the matter? I thought there weren't any other issues for you. My mind's now in a place where I can craft the bullets. Sure. Now the problem is my mana.
Huh? Brady said you had more than enough to make the bullets, though.
Well, normally, yes. Use my magic in a hurry when Balto cast us out, remember? Seems like that consumed a lot more mana than I thought. Even if someone brings us a raise, I don't have the mana required.
It's gonna be the power of friendship, isn't it? Wrong? Oh my god.
Been a day already and it still hasn't recovered. Only I had as much control over my magic as Father does. Putting that aside, I have to work with the mana I have. I can always wait for my mana to replenish naturally, but we don't know what Balto's plan is. And I don't know what else would help me recover other than time.
I get it. Regardless of whether we return to Kultura, we must tackle this mana problem first.
What other way could there be for Calivis to recover his mana? How about you try absorbing mana from an outside source? Like a food or something that would replenish it for you. And again, there's no way a shortcut like that exists.
Oh, wait. We have Flora, don't we? Oh, I could definitely regain enough mana with a Flora. Can you prepare a Flora seed for us, Celeste?
I certainly can, but how are you going to make the flower bloom?
I'll go on a date with Leon. That'll make him happy.
A flora doesn't bloom easily. Circus members should be especially aware of that.
You ain't wrong there. We've gone through a lot to make 'em bloom. That definitely wasn't easy. How about we hold a show in Oriens with just us?
I doubt the flower will bloom from a hastily prepared affair. Especially when Oriens is known for the arts. People here are particularly discerning.
Just when I thought we found the answer.
Holding a show with our full roster is the ideal solution, but we don't have the luxury of preparing for that.
Let's put this Flora thing on hold for the time being and look for other ways to restore your mana.
After that, we continued to brainstorm other methods to solve our current conundrum. Racking our collective brains produced no good ideas, however, so we decided to break and think on it some more. We've reached a dead end. There was no way a monoless gal like myself could figure this one out. I marched on heartlessly, and the setting sun soon painted the town a warm orange. Hoping I'd happen upon an idea if I went outside, I took a stroll around town. We have to make Erase's bullets as soon as possible. Calivis doesn't have enough mana to craft them. We don't know what Balto will do in the meantime if we wait for the prince's mana to recover. While we could make a Flora bloom to help restore his mana, we don't have the time or the members to hold a show. I've got nothing! My thoughts whirled around as I sawed a way forward. Before I knew it, I'd reached Oriens' main street. Tourists swarmed the area, blissfully unaware of the ongoing crisis in Kultura. Laughter from families and couples and the giddy chatter of friends bounced across the canals. I hope the people in Kultura can live such peaceful lives soon, too. With that in mind, I let my feet carry me past a souvenir shop selling all sorts of accessories. Among them was an ornament based on the Lacrima earrings, 4 items of Orion's. Aww. An adorable barrette caught my eye and I couldn't help but cry out. It looked very similar to the bread I got from Zephora. Just like that, I was brought back by the moment he gave it to me. Brought back too, sorry. God, we get this pretty CG again. He didn't outright say it was a gift. Still, I was thrilled to know Zephora chose it with me in mind. My barrette's in Cultura now, but I think of Zephora every time I put it on. It motivates me to go forth and give it my all. Back when we first met, he was cold and unfriendly. Never thought I'd get along with him, and now we're deeply in love with him. Then, after our show in Cultura, he started to acknowledge us as his friends. We were finally united as a group during our show here in Orion's. Throughout our trip, Zephora must have been working hard for Cultura's people, while also doing his part as a circus member. I love how we're getting a little CG flashback. I love it. He was probably hiding his exhaustion from us. Couldn't hide it anymore, what with the spike in his workload after the royal capital moved to dismiss Balto. That time at Liber was the first time I'd seen Zephora looking so tired. He had to be even busier now, carrying a heavy burden on his shoulders, both physically and emotionally. I yearned to erase that burden in whatever way I could. I wanted to help him. Is there anything I can do? I mean, I'm proud of the fact that I've been able to produce great shows for everyone and all. That being said, I'm helpless by myself. There's no way for me to assist Cultura or Zephora. I was so lost in my thoughts, I hadn't even realized I'd come to the underwater park. I've walked quite far. I guess I should go back now.
Oh, there you are. I was wondering where you trotted off to.
Oh, hey Rady. Did you come looking for me?
Yeah, you tend to ignore your surroundings when you're caught up in your thoughts. I was worried you'd forgotten about dinner.
Ah, thanks.
Ah, it's fine. And this place is still full of couples, as usual. Let me transform just in case.
In an instant, he turned back into his Fae form. Why did you change back into a furball?
I mean, it'd be bad if we got mistaken for a couple.
Wouldn't bother me, though. Rady was my family, not my boyfriend. Not yet. Next route. While people might assume we were a couple for walking around this hot date spot, it didn't strike me as something worthy of worrying about.
I just feel bad for him, you know. He's been out there busting his ass in Cultura, and here I am. It's a me problem.
Who and what are you talking about?
Let's stop right there before my poor little heart breaks. Anyway, let's let this god-tier generous Rady keep you company until dinner time.
Rady scampered further into the park, so I hurried after him. It's really weird when you're, like, talking to, like, sexy Rady, and he's like, whatever, and then he turns into this, and he scampers away, and, like, whatever, and you're like, it's just... This is the precursor to... I mean, I have several games where it's, like, your boyfriends are animals that transform into hot dudes, but this is, like, the path into those. We haven't ever played those yet, but this is it. This is the path into, like, opening the door to, like, that... I'm pretty sure one of them is on our list of mixed reviews, so maybe we'll have to do a mixed review soon. There's just so many damn games coming out. Man, we don't have time. There's not so many games, not enough time! Best problem to have.
We held our show in this very plaza.
Yep. I know it hasn't been that long, but that feels like a lifetime ago.
But for some reason, this place is a lot cleaner than before. The spirits seem happy too.
There's definitely less trash, yeah. I'm glad to hear they're in such a good mood.
You know, the circus was originally formed to help Calivis recover. It just feels amazing to see how our show helped change the city for the better, too.
Very true. He's right. They completely changed the city. Now that he'd pointed it out, I felt a little sentimental. Through our Orion show, we were able to discover the spirit's message no one could hear. Deliver the spirit's message no one could hear. Orion's, the city on water, was a place where humans and spirits loved and cherished each other. As time passed, humans forgot their gratitude toward the spirits and took them for granted. All we did was encourage people to remember the things they missed, though. We simply showed them the feelings they used to have. Why do I feel like Kultura is in the same situation Orion's was? People there became so preoccupied with other things they lost sight of what really mattered. They lost the harmony they should have treasured.
Now that you mention it, they are looking at a pretty similar situation. Oops, that's about that time. Now let's head back. Clevis and Aless must be waiting for us.
Now we get to be Zephora, where he admits how much he loves us to himself. Sat down, letting out a deep breath. So dead tired I'd pass out if I lost focus even for a second. There's no time. Get it together. I slammed my cheeks to pep myself up and washed away my drowsiness with coffee. Huge pile of documents I'd requested sat on the desk. They're all related to fiends. I can't sleep until I look through these. And I couldn't bring myself to reach for them. It's all because of what had happened today. Vilio, go patrol the labyrinth entrance with the security forces. Ginnia, check our food supply. And then... Help! We've got a problem! Everyone froze when the man barreled into our tent out of the blue. What happened? Just come with me. I'll explain after. Ah! Calm down, man! When we arrived, the public security officers had surrounded a rampaging citizen. What's going on? Did someone else lose it? I do not believe so. His behavior is highly unusual. Do you see that black miasma emanating from him? I strained my eyes and saw something like black smoke floating around the man's body. It's like a fiend.
And this is the first time I'm seeing it with my own eyes. But I'm pretty sure we're witnessing a fiend transformation. Right, Vilio.
Ginnia's eyes darted to Vilio, nodded solemnly. Yeah, he's been possessed by a fiend. We have to kill him. Vilio's... Oh, I was just gonna switch back to me voice. Vilio stuffed down his tempestuous emotions as he moved toward the possessed man. Hold on. Is there really no other way to save him? Even though they'd explained it before, I was astonished to hear Vilio talk of killing him the moment we found him. I feel like all the fiend shit, like, a lot more, like, we've got a little bit of it, and now we're getting a little more in-depth, but I feel like more of it's gonna come out, because Vilio seems to know, and, like, the look on his eye, like, the fiend thinks is gonna be, Vilio's gonna be like, I'm the last dragon, because all the rest of them were eaten by fiends, and, like, whatever. Like, I feel like a lot of the fiend story's gonna tie into Vilio, but, like, just, this is just giving me that vibe, you know what I mean? Like, Vilio's tragic backstory is fiend-related. Like I said before, there isn't. Maybe we can capture and observe it.
Unfortunately, no. Even if we capture him, we have no safe place to contain him, and we're out of hands. Should the transformation progress, he'll devolve into a walking force of destruction. It'll cause even more damage.
Ugh. And let us clear out the citizens. For them to see this is just plain cruel. I'll help out too. Aside from Vilio, everyone else ushered the innocent bystanders away from the area. Once the citizens were out of sight, Vilio approached the transformed man and blocked his way. This is my duty. Watched helplessly as our chipper redhead slaughtered the Kultura citizen. This has to come out in Vilio's, like, all of a sudden he's just like, well, whatever, and then just stab someone. Like, I mean, I'm not saying he does it without feeling awful, but he does it, so it's like, he's got experience doing this. Killing people that were possessed, not fiends. Ion killed some fiends, and it's like, they're like monsters. You know what I mean? Makes sense, whatever, but like, when it's a person that's possessed by the monster, it's a little bit different. You know what I mean? So, like, but Vilio's clearly had experience, so I feel like we're going to circle back to this when we get to his route.
After that, I held an emergency meeting in the plaza. Told the citizens that the fiend's victim had been placed in custody and was receiving medical treatment. Some were relieved, some were anxious. Are we really going to be okay? They asked. What happened to him? Won't the fiends appear again? What if they go after me next? In response to their questions, I assured them we'd be fully bolstering security to prevent another attack. I also asked that they endure for a little while longer. That was all.
Honestly, I'd be like, listen, we would evacuate you all and get you out of the city, but Balto has put up a wind fucking tunnel. He brought the fiends in, he's brought up the wind tunnel, and he's preventing people, so stay in your fucking houses. Which he already told you to do, so I guess I'm continuing that. Huh. Anyway.
I offer them shallow comfort with all that lip service. Normally I'd start gathering information and find the cause of this accident to avoid further casualties. It was for this reason that I asked for all these fiend-related documents. In reality, however, I couldn't even spare them a glance.
Because I like how he's given us a backstory of what happened. He's like, it's all this happened, but actually what I'm really stressed about is me not being here.
Doubt choked my heart, ensnaring me with indecision. Is this the noble sentinel job I've been aiming for? Do I really have to keep fighting Balto? If this goes on, it'll only cause more harm than good, right? Balto wants you to feel like. All of a sudden, I started wondering what Father would do if he was faced with this kind of situation.
Well, I'd say probably not end up dead, but he ended up dead, so I don't know.
I'm sure he could have handled it better than me.
I'm just gonna throw this out there, Zephora. Your dad got himself killed. So, by his own brother. So, like, I think you're one step ahead of your dad. You shouldn't doubt yourself. You haven't gotten stabbed by your sibling yet, have you? All right, one up on your dad here.
If something like this happened, he'd have immediately assuaged the citizens' worries. Forget that. Father would have prevented fiends from entering the city in the first place.
Okay, but you weren't here to prevent all of this. Balto brought them in without. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're like, I get it. I get he needs this doubt, but I'm over here like, sweetie, Balto had all this shit going on before you got into town. You weren't the Labyrinth Sentinels. You can't blame yourself for not being the Labyrinth Sentinel you think your dad would have been when the Labyrinth Sentinel is your uncle and he's the one doing all this shit. You know? You can't blame yourself for shit your uncle, the Labyrinth Sentinel, did before you got here. Like, this ain't your fault. And, like, my dad would have prevented this. Yeah, well, I mean, no, but it's not like, again, you're not the Labyrinth Sentinel where you could have prevented it. You had no way to prevent this because you showed up afterward and Balto already had these fuckers positioned everywhere. You know what I mean? And he's got magic and you don't. So, like, he's 6 rungs up the ladder compared to you. So, like, you ain't doing bad for being on the bottom here.
I'm so stupid.
Well, you're stupid for doubting yourself, but otherwise, no.
A smile of self-derision crawled onto my face. Regretting the past was pointless. I should have known better after warning myself as much over the last 3 years. Evidently, I'd been suffering so much that I'd begun to imagine a future that would never come to pass. What would she say if she were here?
I love you and stop doubting yourself, you idiot.
If she saw me like this, I bet she'd slip out of the tent. And she'd come back with a fresh, steaming cup of tea. But once I calmed down, she'd ask me to tell her what happened in as much detail as possible. And she'd give me her full attention while I spoke. And then she'd tell me the solution she came up with after a good hard think. It was easy to picture her desperately trying to find encouraging words. And whether or not we actually found the solution during our discussion would be irrelevant. I bet she's no idea how relieved I am to have her by my side.
No, because you don't tell us, but I'm gonna cry. It's beautiful.
Never be so considerate of my feelings and fussing over my problems. During our last call, I told her staying in Orion's would be better for her. Although I was merely being frank, it was such a heartless thing to say. And now that I was on the verge of a breakdown, all I wanted was to hear her voice. I ached to hear her encourage me, tell me to keep fighting, that everything would be alright. I love that we get these insights into her boyfriendo's heads. I really do, especially when it's Zephora's head. Only I had that. Get back on my feet to make things right again. Spacey, Name I never meant to call escaped my lips. Never meant to, but it kinda did. And we're over there like, I feel like someone's calling my name. Ooh! But it's time, bitches! Oh! Listen, the last part we got Glasses Coon. Oh! And this time we had that little moment. Oh, he's killing me slowly, and I love it. Anyway, I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.